I'm Julia Cort, Community Engagement Manager at the Horniman Museum and Gardens. The Horniman is very much a museum that has world-class collections of anthropology, musical instruments, natural history, and also 16.5 acres of gardens. So we have world-class collections, but we're based in a local community in southeast London, which also reflects the world out there in terms of the people who are living here. So our visitors are very much those people who live locally to us rather than international tourists, and we value those visitors and want to make the Horniman as relevant and useful and fun to those visitors as we can be. The way we try to do that is to ensure that the voices that you hear and learn from at the museum are not just curatorial voices, but are voices of some of the people who live locally to us, and more particularly some of the people who wouldn't normally visit museums of their own accord. So perhaps people who've newly arrived in London through, often not by their own decision, people who are experiencing severe and enduring mental health issues, people who are isolated in some ways from their local communities. These are the people that we're finding aren't coming to the museum by themselves and are feeling that the museum doesn't hold anything for them. There's nothing relevant for them here. It's quite difficult to get to, it's quite difficult to get in, you don't feel welcome. Community Voices into the museum is to co-produce things with people from our local community, and that can be a variety of things, so big events, small activities within larger events or larger programs, such as our public family program that happens over the summer holidays. We co-produce parts of permanent galleries, of temporary exhibitions, all sorts of things, and the levels of engagement that will happen as part of those things will be different, and that will depend on what our partner organisations would like, what feels suitable for them, and how much co-production that project needs. We are currently evaluating how we co-produce with our communities, and we've just run a day where we've brought people in who have been co-producing with us over the last 4 years to really think about this process, to think about where the power lies within the museum and the partner organisations we work with, and to try to create a Horniman-wide way of co-producing, a way of working in partnership with local communities, and finding out what the base standards are, what we all need to be doing, and then thinking about those different levels and actually being really explicit, both internally with people at the Horniman, but also with our partner organisations about what this commitment will entail, actually how much freedom there is to be really to really get your voice across, or how much the Horniman wants you to do a specific thing for them. There'll be completely different levels, and both are fine as long as we're really transparent about that process and make sure that we really have those conversations to make sure that they have mutual benefit for us, the partner organisations and the participants taking part in the projects that we do. But also that these projects are part of larger partnerships, so that we're not working with one group on a project, then never seeing them again, or working with a different group on a different project. But actually what we're doing is fostering really strong partnerships with different people in our local community. And then as a project comes up, we're talking to our partners and seeing who would like to work with us on this project. Really different way of working from finding a hole that you need filling and then looking for a group to work with to fill that hole. That's really where we're coming from at the moment, and we are building on this to come not just from the community engagement team at the Horniman, but to be a way of working that's happening across the Horniman. That's a really exciting thing to be doing. We've got loads of excitement and buy-in from across the organisation. We're looking at how we move this partnership working not just from outside of just within the community engagement team into the wider Horniman as a whole. And that's really exciting, and it has loads of buy-in and enthusiasm from across the organisation. So we're just really thinking about how we make sure that we have a Horniman-wide way of doing this. And that's thinking about the small details of things. For example, how people get on and off site, making sure that when people do arrive, they're having teas and coffees and maybe even cake just to make people feel welcome, give them somewhere to feel settled. Thinking about how you run any meetings or sessions, being really flexible to needs. Things that we do in the engagement team just as a matter of course, but actually is something that we're realising is quite a specific skill that we need to roll out across the organisation.